What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful weekend if you're watching this on the weekend. If you're watching it during the week, I hope you're having a great week. Today, back in the movie room, and I got the movie box. That's right, I'm going to go through this box, pull out a movie at random, and I'm going to talk about it for as long as I see fit. If I remember the movie, if I don't remember the movie, you know, what are you going to do, right? Let's see. That's great. Let's see if you can see that. It's The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. This is going to be interesting. It's The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I don't remember what year the movie came out. I'm going to say late 80s, early 90s, but The Adventures of Ford Fairlane starring Andrew Dice Clay. If you're not familiar with Dice, he was, well, he still is, very, very good comedian, but late 80s, early 90s, huge presence in the comedy scene. You could Google who Dice is if you're not familiar with Andrew Dice Clay. Just want to let you know that his material is very adult, it's very raunchy, so just be prepared for his very dirty nursery rhymes, and just, I'm pre-warning you. It's not exactly for kids. Anyway, or some adults. I actually saw Dice a couple years ago, locally in Staten Island, and he was hysterical. He's still the same way. Obviously, his material is updated, but I would consider myself a nostalgic fan of Andrew Dice Clay. That is why I bought this movie. Anyway, so Dice, being one of the biggest comedians at the time, late 80s, early 90s, first comedian, I believe, to ever sell out Madison Square Garden here in New York, which is a huge accomplishment. He actually did it again about 15 years later, which is even bigger, to sell out the Garden. But Andrew Dice Clay, still doing it, still a comedian, still very funny, in my opinion. So check out his material if you want, if you're not familiar with Andrew Dice Clay. Anyway, Andrew Dice Clay stars in the movie Ford Fairlane. This was his vehicle, right? This was the thing to get him into movies. And as far as I know, until a few years ago, he didn't really make much of a presence in film. This was his starring movie. He did have a TV show on the UPN network called Hits, I believe, in the mid-90s. I am dating myself. Anyway, Dice plays, I believe he's responsible for something for the record industry. He's a bouncer or a bodyguard. This is the problem with this video, is I don't always remember what these movies are about. But it's, to be honest with you, what the movie is about is it's Andrew Dice Clay being Andrew Dice Clay for hour and a half, 2 hours. If I remember correctly, it had a lot to do with the Capitol building in LA. And that is pretty much, I think there was a murder. Maybe he's a private investigator. I'm really gonna have to rewatch this movie, and I don't necessarily know if I want to. I haven't seen it in a very long time, but this movie is absolutely ridiculous. It is not exactly something you would see made today at all. A lot of his humor is just, you go there and you know what you're seeing. So if you're seeing a Dice movie, you know what you're seeing. But this was his foray into movies. And, you know, this movie is, it's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of his humor. I think it's a lot of fun, ridiculous, cheesy 80s movies. This definitely needs to be on that list of movies that you can't believe were made, but you can't exactly turn your head away without watching it, because it's just it's so ridiculous. This movie is very 80s. I remember the dress being very 80s. Unfortunately, I can't tell you much about the movie. That's my fault for obviously not looking it up, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to talk about it, whether or not I remember it. I can tell you about the DVDs, one of those awesome flipper discs. One side's full screen, one side's widescreen. I believe it did get a Blu-ray release, but I think the Blu-ray release went out of print, because the last time I checked, it was very expensive, and I already have it on DVD. I don't need to see it on Blu-ray. But if I ever get a 4K player and they release it on 4K, I'm going there first day, pick that up, try to get all the grain from that beautiful, beautiful movie. Ford Fairlane. Did Renny Harlin direct this? I think Renny Harlin directed this. Look, things are coming. Things are coming to my head. Renny Harlin, he was married to Geena Davis, and he made Cutthroat Island. If you ever want to see the worst pirate movie of all time, check out Renny Harlin's Cutthroat Island. Renny Harlin also directed Die Hard 2. Yeah, I think Renny Harlin directed that. That's crazy that just things pop into my head. But if you have 2 hours to waste your time on a movie that you would never see ever, and you find a copy of Ford Fairlane just lying in the street, or Dice is handing them out as next show, then check out this movie, and I think you'll enjoy it. But I think I'm actually going to go watch this now. And for the first time ever, I'm going to just pop this in, and I'm actually going to see if I remember what happened in the movie actually happened. Something with a record executive. And is Gilbert Gottfried in this movie? I don't remember. It's a very 80s movie. He drives a Ford Fairlane, obviously. It's The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, so that's a thing. Does it take place in Vegas? I don't remember. I'm going to watch this movie right now, and then I will get back to you with kind of an update on exactly what this movie's about. Anyway, I'll see you guys in a minute. I'm really doing this. It's nice to know that Disney now owns this film. You know, that's real nice to know. They could finally have what I've always wanted my whole life. A theme park dedicated to Ford Fairlane. You know, at least a Ford Fairlane meet and greet at Epcot. At least you can drink there. It is Renny Harlin. I was right. Based on the cast, Gilbert Gottfried is in this movie. So is Wayne Newton and Priscilla Presley. And Morris Day. I think he's timeless in this movie. So anyway, he's a rock and roll detective who now takes a case from Gilbert Gottfried to find this missing girl. That's what the movie is about. I watched about 20 minutes of it, and then the DVD started to skip because it's very old. It's probably 15, 20 years old, and for some reason, it just started making noise in the player, and now I can't watch it anymore. Anyway, that's it for this video. Usually I wouldn't do this, but I was just so interested in what this movie was about. It's not any good. Watch it if you like really bad movies. And it's just so dated. It is really dated. Tone Loc's in it. Pamela Adlon is in it, and that's, just the first 20 minutes. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give a big thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe. Comment if you have any fond memories of Ford Fairlane, the rock and roll detective, which they've said at least 20 times in the first 20 minutes of this movie. 1 time per minute. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.